All right, let's get started. So, welcome everyone. I know there's a bunch of you on here. Only a few of you have written on the right-hand side. Feel free to let us know where you're from. One of the reasons that I always kick off a webinar and I ask that is just by doing that simple task of just putting in where you're from, you're more likely to engage as we go forward. But more importantly, you can engage with each other. You can ask each other questions. This is really an opportunity for you to pull as much out of someone like myself or out of our company as you can, and really learn an in-depth what we do, or maybe there's some other questions we can help you with. So I really do encourage you, jump in, let us know, where you're from, and thanks Irene and Al and Brenda and Carlos and Sally and Stephanie. Thanks so much for joining us today, and for everybody else that's on this webinar. So I've got some good news for you guys. This webinar is going to include some really good stuff, but the bad news is that I'm going to go really, really fast. It's just, unfortunately, I talk fast as it is, and I've got a lot to cover, so I'm going to be moving pretty quick. So the good news, though, is it is completely recorded. So don't panic if you're trying to take notes or if you're trying to write stuff down. Feel free to ask the questions as we go through, but all of this will be recorded. Also, this is actually the third of a 3 series, so we're bringing this one to a close. Part 1, we really went in depth on Facebook lead generation and ad performance. So if you're looking to learn more about that, that is, I would say that's a pretty high level. It's not a basic webinar. It's definitely quite in depth. But if you really want to dive into some of the metrics and understand that better for yourself, I highly recommend checking it out on our YouTube channel. Part 2, we had a guest speaker, Bruce Keith, who's one of the top 25 coaches from Inman News. So he joined us, and he really did a presentation on some really fantastic lead nurturing strategies. And so again, I really recommend checking that one out if you missed it. And then today we're going to be diving into a number of different things, but really we're going to be tying in some of the core things that a couple clients have really done to see massive success, and how you can as well. And then also just really break down some of the performance metrics around your funnel. So I'm going to jump right into it here. Oops, sorry about that. Just moving my mouse around. Okay, so many of you guys are here because you're looking to grow your business, and I realize it's so much more than that. You're here, and all of the realtors we talk to, they want to grow their business, they want to provide for their family. You want to live a fulfilled life where you can see your dreams realized. And here's the thing, though. Many of you guys are different. Some of you want to build big teams. Some of you want to maybe build a boutique firm. Either way, you have your dreams that you're trying to realize, and you want to make those become a reality. However, though, for many of you, you've tried so many different ways of growing your business, and some of you have failed on it specifically around social media. And I totally get it, and it is frustrating. And maybe some of you have even tried our platform, and you haven't seen the success that many of our agents have, and you want to see that, and so you're in the right place. You're on the right webinar today. And for some of you, maybe you're just afraid of how it all works or how much commitment it takes to really see results with online leads. And you're absolutely right. There is something to fear. However, with the right systems and strategy in place, you can absolutely find the results that you're looking for. So, when we started our business on Facebook, specifically for real estate agents, and we were able to quickly find and collect some leads. But then I was pretty disappointed when I handed those over to our sales team, which included myself, and we were met with that disappointment because we were unable to turn those leads into customers. And maybe some of you, you really feel that. Maybe you've tried some things on Facebook, or maybe just in online leads in general, you're at that place. And at that moment, and for the next few weeks, it would have been pretty easy for us to have given up. And what we didn't know then, which is so easy to see now, was that we were so close. We were just literally missing a few key elements of putting it all together. And today we've served thousands of real estate agents, and we grow at over 100% a year, making us an incredibly fast growth company. And that's really what this webinar is about today. It's about showing you some of those small changes that yielded massive returns. And there are a lot of companies out there happy to sell you leads, and you can probably think of a few right at the top of your head, and there's a dozen more at least. I mean, there's a bunch of them. And that's actually not what StreetText is about. We really are striving to give you the best tools, and we want to be better at this every single day, so that every dollar that you spend on Facebook is the best dollar you can spend towards finding new clients. So you won't ever need to buy new leads again. You will be in control, and you will have the tools you need to realize your dreams. So I really love this quote that Donna had sent to me. She had said, we were texting back and forth a little bit on Messenger, and basically she said that your program has changed my entire life. And what I would want to say back to her, and she might be on this webinar today, is that we are literally just getting started. We have so much more in store for our agents. And Don, I hope you don't mind me sharing that. I know I didn't ask you ahead of time. It was a special thing when you shared that with us, and I just wanted to pass that on here today. And so I'm actually going to be sharing a sneak peek of a couple new things that we're going to be bringing out, and we have so much in store for you guys. And so I'm going to just cover a couple of things today, and then we'll have a few more events on that in the days to come. So you are literally just one Facebook ad away, if it's done right, from changing your life too. So you don't have to hire an expensive marketer. You can literally be perceived by everyone around you as a genius marketer, and you will become a lead conversion specialist. And when your business begins to double, triple, and you become like Donna, the top individual producer, you will be the envy of your entire office. And Donna even put together a course, which I love to call How to Become the #1 Top Producer in Your Office Without Even Having to Call Leads, because that's exactly what she did. And I'm happy to talk more about that course later if you guys are interested. That's not going to be the topic of today, but I'm happy to talk about that later as well. So what was it that transformed a frustrated sales team to a thriving business? And the answer is book demos for us. So getting book demos, and for you guys, it's appointments. And some of you might have just yelled out, "Hey, that's exactly what I need too. I need appointments. I've got these leads, but how do I get the appointments?" So how did we do it? And how can you do it too? So there are a few key aspects to look at when you're trying to get those appointments. So you can literally go from no results to massive results if you understand these 3 principles, which I'm going to break down in today. So again, we're going to be moving very, very quickly. So just really stay tuned in for what we're going to be covering right here. So the value ladder, who is serious today, and the distribution secret. So what is the value ladder? So the #1 thing you need to understand is, you really need to understand your customer before you run any ads on Facebook. And so many agents, they really do overlook this step. Who are your dream clients? Like, where do they live? What zip code are they in? It's not just about, hey, I'd love to have listings in this area. Like, really think about them. What kind of homes are they? Who is that homeowner? Are they wealthy? Do they have kids? Is it an aging neighborhood? You need to have that context about who your customer is so you can actually get the results that you're looking for, and you can get those conversations started, and then ultimately those appointments. The next thing is, where can you find them? Now, this is, if you're going to take away something from today, there's going to be a few key points, but this is something really quite special if you think about it. Imagine back in the day when there, was just this original TV and it entered the home. I mean, it changed how we could basically get a message out in front of an audience. For the first time ever, people could, outside of radio, you could visually be in front of people and communicating. Now, if you remember when that TV first came out, not everybody had one. They were expensive, they were big. You had to, put one in your home. And, so the first step was making sure there was a TV in every home. The next step was you'd have channels. And originally, there was really only just a few channels. And I believe these were the 3. I should Google it. I believe these are the 3 first original channels. And they were there for a while. It was NBC, CBC, and ABC. And then what happened after a little while? I mean, right? I mean, you got channels just exploded, and you had satellite. And so here's what I'm trying to show you in this. This is the world we live in today. In the world we live in today, everybody has a cell phone in front of them. And the reason I say this is the most special time for real estate agents, and it won't always be like this, that it'll change and there'll be other platforms. But if you think about it, every single person has one of those TVs right now in front of them. You don't have to get a TV in their hands. They all have them. And now think about the channels. How many channels are they really in front of everybody right now? Like, think about it. Like, I know there's lots of apps on your phone, but how many would you consider a channel that you actually tune into on an ongoing basis? And these are them. There's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's YouTube, there's Twitter, and I understand there's a few others, but these are the big ones, right? Like just ponder that for a moment. Literally, by having your message on one of these platforms, ultimately more is better. But if you can just be at least on one of these platforms, you are one of those few channels that everybody is tuning into every single day. And that really is a game changer if you fully understand what it is today. And it's going to be like this, just give us a few more years and literally there's going to be, those channels are going to segment out just like cable did and just like satellite did. But it's a special time right now today. Okay, and then the next thing is, what can you use to attract them? So, I mean, when you think about obviously all of the TVs, like just being in front of them at this particular time, like these leads literally have just found your ad and they come through and they become a lead. So they've seen your, like on the platform, on Facebook. And I'm so shocked when agents say something like, well, this lead didn't answer their phone, so the lead must be garbage or something. And I can completely appreciate where they're coming from, but it's also clear to me that they're pretty inexperienced with working online leads. And, think about it this way, right? Somebody's on Facebook and they come through. It's not so far apart that if you're walking down the street and someone says to you, would you like a flyer on the local real estate market? And you accept. And then as you're walking away, they say, can I sell your home? And of course you're going to say no. I mean, you have no trust with this person, yet. But if instead that person said, I actually have a list of 10 tips that could help you sell your home faster, than average, and it actually has helped a number of sellers sell for more than asking price. Would you like this too? How much more likely are you to accept this? And before you know it, this guy's providing so much value that you actually really find yourself liking this person. So, for you guys, you really need to think about the value you're providing. And you really need to create what is curiosity. So your number one goal is to create curiosity. If you get an address, if you get an email address, if you get a phone number, remember, this is a lead that came through Facebook or any place, you're going to try to add value to them. And of course, but the idea is that if you can create curiosity and offer that like value alongside of curiosity, you're going to be able to completely change this game around. And the reason being is that curiosity is something special. Your brain actually wants to say, always, I don't need this. If somebody's presenting something that's new information, or maybe your brain actually wants to just tune out. It wants to be like, okay, no, I already know this. But with curiosity, you mess that up and your brain says, whoa, wait a second, maybe I need this. So here's a great example of creating curiosity. Here's an ad that's completely different than some of the ones that you might have run in the past. And it says 10 simple hacks to increase your home's value before selling. Send me the guide. It's completely free. Let us know your email and we will send it to you. Now, what's so special about this ad is it's actually 4 times cheaper to run than the original home value ad, but it's really designed to run them together. So by adding them together or as a retargeting or in conjunction with one another, you really get a great result in running them. And here's the really cool part, is that you can actually collect people's email address, phone number, all up front. But all we're doing is we're adding a little bit more value in and creating curiosity. So this is actually going to be, this part here I'm showing you is a bit of a sneak peek of a bunch of the new ads that we're going to be releasing to our clients. But the same applies true in if you think about it, in the emails that you send or the letters that you might send to people or the text messages. Always create curiosity, add value, and do it in the form of curiosity. So, it's like Matthew Nicholas. I mean, Matthew Nicholas sells over 200 homes a year. I mean, he's a master at this. He drops off a FedEx package or handwritten letters like you see in this photo. And think about it. Who doesn't open a FedEx package? I mean, everyone does. He just understands that curiosity concept. And inside, he blows them away with value. And I know that if I lived in Matthew's neighborhood, he would be my realtor. He doesn't just send me a boring flyer. He sends me, like I said, the FedEx package or the handwritten letter. It even says, free gift inside to a local coffee shop, tons of info about my home and neighborhood. And this is one of the genius things he does. He even creates more curiosity by letting people know that they can get even more info if they're interested. And all they have to do is email him for it. And he's happy to provide it. So, I mean, this is just a small example. And Matthew actually has a package called the Holy Smokes package, which you can find in our insider group. And he really breaks this down step by step. And he not only does he just wow people from the presentation side, he creates enormous curiosity, which has people look at his message, what he's trying to say, and a ton of people then respond back to him or start a conversation, which he then turns into appointments. So that's great, of course. But one of the key things that you need to know, or you're curious of today, is who is serious today, right? You need to be able to test the seller's urgency. We've got all these leads coming in. Who's serious? So that remember that every lead is a great lead if you treat every lead like a referral and provide value. But that being said, I get it. You need to know who's serious now. You need those appointments. And this is a really, really key component to the strategy. So here's another strategy that Matthew uses. And it's so simple, but it works perfect for Matthew. Like, he creates all this curiosity, he adds enormous value. 1 week later or a few days later, sometimes just a few hours later, depending, he sends all of his seller leads a letter that looks like this, that's customized for where they live. And he calls it his get off the fence letter, or it's like the magic letter, right? And the whole concept is it's designed to basically show people, hey, we have some interest in your neighborhood, or specifically your condo building in this case. And this is the whole letter is designed, is somebody serious today? Remember, some of your leads are going to be 3 months out, 6 months out, 12 months out. But a lot of people don't add this one little step out to their strategy, and as a result, they're just kind of waiting for people to come back. Now, you don't have to use it. Like someone like Donna, she basically emails all of her addresses, and she just says to them, hey, come back and complete all of your information. And I get it, that's great. But what Matthew does with this one letter is he's really taking a pulse on everybody today out of all the leads that came in, and just to see who's that 5 or 10% today that wants to sell in the next couple months. Immediately, I want to identify them. I want to be able to work with them immediately while I continue to add value to all of my other leads. And it works. It works like magic. And if you don't believe me, ask Matthew yourself. It really is a genius letter, and it's so simple. So, if you think about it, now a lot of this might be seeming like a lot of work. Think about an airplane. Like an airplane only makes money, obviously, when it flies. But the caveat is, of course, you need to fill it with people on board so it actually makes some money. But all the work goes in before, right? Like planes only get make money if you can get, you can sell tickets, you can check bags, you can pay airport fees and so forth, and then finally the plane gets to fly. And I think a lot of agents come in and they start using a system like this or something on Facebook, and they recognize the importance of getting in front of a large group of people, but they don't want to do all the work of understanding who their customer is. They don't want to do all the work of adding all the value, and they don't want to do all the work of like actually doing all the touches to stay and check in with that client. And so what I don't think they realize is that they think that they make money when they're doing deals, but you actually make money when you're having conversations. And I'm sure many of you know that, but you make money when you can get someone on the phone. And because you're a great realtor, once they start talking to you and they become your client, you are going to list their home. And Matthew knows that, Donna knows that. Agents know that if they can get on the phone with somebody, they are going to be the realtor for that particular client. And those people will recommend you to your friends and to your family. But to start getting those conversations, you really do need to think about who your ideal client is. You need to think about how you're going to attract them. You also need to think about how to provide value and get them on the phone. It's not just about having a lead come in that is immediately wanting to talk to you. It's about what are you going to do to create that curiosity and add that value so you can actually get them on the phone. So understanding the value ladder, who's serious now, is what we did to move from a frustrated sales team to book demos. And that one little switch started creating, that literally created a thriving business. It honestly is only a few degrees change. And then this is what we did next. So up next, it's all about A/B testing. And so in your case, this is maybe some things that you don't know that you can do in the StreetText platform that you really need to consider. So the whole concept behind A/B testing, if it's a new term to you, is really simple. It basically means, I have a funnel running. These are my results. I want to see if I can improve those results. So, rather than just making drastic changes to see if your results are going to be better, you make small little changes. And sometimes that means you run ads side by side. Sometimes that means you run a completely different offer, but you just then test 2 different areas. And I'll break that down a little bit more for you. But the whole point is that you should always be testing. So things that you might not know, I'm actually going to break down each one of these, is that you can actually test different areas. You can test alterations on your funnel. So if you're the kind of agent that really needs phone numbers, you can focus in on that. If you really just, I love email addresses, or I love addresses. Some of you, you might want to have a completely different offer, like one of those ones I showed you earlier, or you really want to work with buyers. So let me just dive into these independently. So here's an example of A/B testing on a real estate agent's ads around different zip codes. Same exact funnel. So this is paramount. An agent will sometimes come in and they'll be working with us for a while. They're focused on a specific area and they're not happy with the results and they cancel, let's say, like they just, they're gone. Maybe they were working in this case with like Keller Sellers, which if you can see on the far right, let me just bring up my mouse here, was $28 a lead. In the case of Rich and Hill Sellers, it's $29 a lead. And if you speak to someone like Marcus on the phone or Logan on the phone, they're always going to say to you, it's never a matter of when if it worked. It's just a matter of when. And he knows that because he's worked with so many agents and he's moved areas around, and all of a sudden it hits. I mean, and then you get this Haslet sellers at $1.37 a lead. Look at the quantity of leads, but look at the testing it took to get there. And some of these really weren't that bad, right? Like some of them were pretty good, but what if we had just stopped here? We'd be doing them for $7.50, and look, we got it all the way down to $1.37. So, and keep this in mind, like it's not just necessarily about the amount of money you pay per lead. Obviously, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to what you're able to do with those leads, and are these leads in the area that you want. Like for instance, maybe these Keller sellers at $28 are all multi-million-dollar homes, and you're willing to pay that per lead because just one deal will pay for all those leads for years. So it does tie into your overall strategy, but what I wanted to show you here is just, this is the first level of testing that you should be considering, is you need to be testing other areas. So up next is you can test alterations in your funnel. So what I basically mean by that is that you can test everything. I'll show you what our funnels, like how our funnels work in a moment here, but I mean, everything from the landing page to the ad to the copy to what it's even saying, all of this can be customized. Like here's an example of where in the phone number response, we're saying text me for a quicker response, like to the user providing it. Enter phone number, optional. So some realtors might want to say something entirely different, like I need your phone number because of XYZ. If you use the language that that your particular ideal client cares about, you're much more likely to get the information that you're looking for. And remember, every area is different, and that's why it's so important for you to know who it is you're going after. If you're going after, say, an aging community, and you're working with, say, older people, you're going to change some of this language around. Like they maybe don't care about texting. You're going to be, you need to have that in mind as you're making small little changes and tweaks to your funnel. So so here's an example. So, if you think about it, on the top, there's a Facebook advertisement. That Facebook advertisement then goes to a StreetText funnel. And the StreetText funnel is made up of obviously a number of different forms and landing pages designed to get you a specific result, which you can customize as I just showed you. Then that lead comes into your StreetText dashboard and is obviously identified based on which funnel that you're running, so you know. And then it triggers a whole bunch of emails. So every funnel can also have a whole bunch of automatic emails, which again, you can customize. They're built out for you, but you can then modify those emails to your own liking. So you really need to, again, I can't say this enough. That very first point I covered about understanding who it is you're going after has a massive influence on your StreetText funnel, on your system, like on the emails that you'd be firing, and obviously in thinking about some of the language around your ads. Now, I actually would say that the majority of that will take place on step 2 and step 4, but some of it also applies on the ad side as well. So up next is you can test different offers. So this is just a sneak peek, obviously, of one of the ones that we're running. We have other offers that currently exist. If you're looking specifically more on the buyer side, but on the seller side, we're going to be rolling out some new offers for you guys. But here's a sneak peek of that one. And this one is just genius. It works so well. We collect all of the information up front. So even though this is what you would consider someone that's just curious, we know a lot about this lead coming in. We have their email address, we have their phone number. You can provide value, and then you can just continually add value to these leads. So you should be testing that. Buyers, you should really be testing buyers as well. So these are just small examples of some of the different buyer campaigns that you can be running. And there's dozens of them out there, and they work really well. And they actually, a lot of buyers become sellers. If the funnel's designed right, then as a lead comes to the buyer side, we then ask them if they're thinking about selling their home, and lo and behold, they convert faster and they actually have a home to sell. So, as you're approaching your different zip codes or the different areas, or, Canada on the postal code side, which you should be thinking about both buyers and sellers. You should have a farm area that you really focused on the seller side. And then you should be running some buyer campaigns that are maybe targeting a larger area specific around a certain, certain area that you're trying to sell more homes. And we can walk you through more of those afterwards, but they work really well in conjunction with another. So this is one other thing that I really think is key. Just like I was talking about the TV concept. Again, it's a simple concept, but I'm hoping that you're thinking about it in a different light now. Like you can literally be, there's only a few channels in front of your entire audience. They all have a phone. You can be there. You can be the real estate agent in front of them. This is another one of those secrets that I just honestly, I just don't understand why more real estate agents don't take advantage of this. So, we moved away from buying leads to owning leads. So what do I mean by that? When we started, we lived and died on Facebook leads, like maybe some of you do if you're fairly new. If you've got an existing business, that's fantastic. You're going to have a lot of referral business. You get a lot of other things coming in. That's where you need to be. But even more importantly, we, especially at the beginning, especially where we could only grow as fast as the leads we were able to convert through Facebook. And that's a tough place to be sometimes because you don't have any other business to rely on. So you can only literally grow as fast as your leads are converting. So that's why, use the strategies that I've covered up here. These are the strategies that Don has used and Matthew's used to really grow fast. And they do work. And once you have some more business, that's fantastic. But this distribution secret is once, over a period of time that when you're advertising to all of these leads and you're generating all these leads, you begin to own leads. So think of it this way. From the distribution standpoint, there's traffic that you don't control. And what I mean by that is like, think about your website. People literally just show up on your website. Some of them become leads, some of them leave. You don't really know. You're not always sure how they get there, but you get some traffic, you don't get some traffic. It's like an open house. If you don't advertise it, some people might show up. They're just random. You don't really control that. Then there's traffic that you control, and think much like Facebook. You can then point traffic to your website, so you can pay to basically direct traffic to an end result or a goal that you're looking for. But you have to continue paying if you want to direct that traffic because you don't own it. And then there's traffic that you own, and this traffic is incredible because you can email them whenever you like for free. And so many realtors miss this golden opportunity. I was speaking to a real estate agent that's local here. He's a pretty big realtor. He's been in the business now 25 years. And I asked him what CRM he uses, and he doesn't have a CRM, which means that he has missed out on every single lead or every single deal that he's ever done. He has, other than his just like literally on a piece of paper, he's got kind of his like top few clients. He has missed out on every one of those leads over those years. He could have built up a massive distribution network so that, because basically whoever can get their message out for free whenever they need to a huge audience has a massive control over their business's revenue. And earlier when we relied on Facebook ads, we lived and died on the conversion of those leads. Later, once we owned our audience, we no longer lived and died. When we needed to generate a huge amount of interest in something in a moment, we could because we could reach out to our same audience. So here's an example of this. So your goal above all else is to build up your distribution, your reach, and your influence. Like, look at this. Whoops, go back to it. Donna, last Sunday, I was stressing out. I only had 3 homes so far in May. So I sent out an email to all 1,500 email addresses I had through StreetText. And as of today, a week later, I've listed 6 homes in direct response to email. Follow up, follow up, follow up. Exhausted. Obviously, she's busy. She just listed 6 properties, but ever so grateful. So Donna has distribution. She understands this concept. I can't tell you how many people have generated leads and they never even exported those leads to a CRM. They just kind of let them die. They didn't realize the true value of what that lead is. If you have sellers and you've got a seller's list and you've got a buyer's list, you need to be sending different messages. But think about this for a moment. For your buyer list, every time you bring on a hot property that's so remarkable that you think, oh my goodness, this is an incredible property, or especially if it's one that you've listed, you can now send that out to all of your buyers. And trust me, if a buyer is interested, they're going to keep following your emails. They won't just unsubscribe. They will actually be interested in what you're sending them. And lo and behold, when the time comes, they're going to say, hey, can you send me more information on that listing? It works, and it works over and over again. And on the seller side, think about it. You've got this huge audience like Donna did of people on your seller side. And again, you might think, hey, these leads aren't getting back to me. They don't seem that serious. What if you go and maybe do a quick video tour of a property that just suddenly sold in like 2 days? And you do a quick video tour and you send an email out to all of your sellers and you basically say, why did it sell so fast? And you highlight a couple reasons that this property sold so fast and why it's such an important time in the market to be listing right now. And you send that out to all of your sellers. You have powerful distribution for free now. You don't have to pay Facebook or anyone else to get that message out. You get it out to everybody, and you're going to get the results that Donna did, when she takes advantage of that. So this distribution network is so key. And I think the wonderful thing for you is how few realtors do this. Almost no realtor takes advantage of it. And if it's done right, it's really, really powerful. So here's a couple other things that you can do to customize your funnel. You can add video integration. So if you're involved in Donna's course, or you see what she does with her strategy, she actually uses a video at the end of her funnel. We have a lot of other real estate agents that also add video to the beginning of your funnel. And so I'm going to show you an example of this right now. And in essence, again, knowing who your audience is, knowing what you're targeting, this is a great way to actually add value at the very beginning part of the process so that you can let people know what to expect, who you're like, and basically you can take care of some of their concerns and fears right out of the gate. So here's an example.
Hi there, thanks for reaching out. I'm Amy Matichek. I'm a realtor with Royal LePage Kelowna. Looks like you're looking for some information on your house. That's great, I can help you with that. Most people who reach out are simply just curious about their values and they're not looking to sell. And that's okay, I'm not looking to put a sign in your front yard. But I am gonna need a little bit more information than just your address. So if you could fill out the form and get that to me, I'll be able to pull together some numbers for you and really give you an idea of your valuation. Let's get started.
All right, so really simple. It's a great little video. Obviously, she had somebody helping her with that in terms of like doing the recording, but it works. She was basically able to filter out some leads that were otherwise maybe not going to come through the entire process. But more importantly, she was able to lower some of the concerns with some of this traffic coming through, especially since they don't know who Amy is. They feel more confident. They don't feel like she's just going to sell them right out of the gate. And she explains why she needs the information. A great way of customizing your funnel just that little bit, adding some personal touch. So, if you are going to do a video, really do keep it short. You want to get that point out there pretty quick. You're happy to obviously help them with any questions. And then just remind people that it's free. And I think even more importantly, remind them, it's work for you to do, and I fully understand that. Tell them that it's easy for you to do. And the reason that you want to say that is if you make it sound like it's a lot of work for you to do, they're going to be much less likely to do it. But if you say, hey, listen, come through this, I'm happy to provide this information for you. Maybe it's information you need today, or maybe it's information you just want to sit on for a rainy day. I'm happy to provide it. And you let people know that you invited them into the process. Be clear, obviously concise. And I would say one of the biggest things to think about is just your background. Make sure you got good lighting. Literally, the only two things that matter in video is sound and lighting. If you've got good sound and lighting, the rest of it basically comes together really well. Okay, so I'm going to open it up for some questions now. I moved through this really, really quick. And I'm obviously going to give an opportunity. I'm going to explain a little bit more about what we do. But if you've got questions on any of that, let me know. So what we do at StreetText is we basically make it simple for real estate agents to meet clients on Facebook. There's a lot that goes into it. We take care of the first part. And by doing that, we're going to make sure that we can get you in front of your audience. We're going to set up your ads for you, and we're going to drive that traffic to your StreetText dashboard so you can collect those leads. We then have an insider group that's a tremendous resource of all of our agents that are in there together, so you can share insights, you can work alongside of one another to help get the results that you're looking for. And there's honestly, there's some incredible information in the insider group if you dive into it and just make use of that wonderful community. And then ultimately at the end, if you need to make changes to your funnels, we're here to help. So we can modify those for you. We can help you run other ads. We're really here to assist you to make sure that you can hit your goals and make sure that you make 2018 a fantastic year. So I just want to explain a little bit about if you are interested in getting started, maybe this is, you're not one of our clients and you just want to learn a little bit more of what we do. I'm just going to show you how it works. So what we do, especially at the beginning, is we do a 7-day test with all of our clients. And remember how I showed you that that A/B test where that agent was testing all of those different areas and she's getting a different price per lead? That 7 days is really about that. It's about helping you get some success on Facebook, because it's very unlikely that you're going to convert a lead or get a listing or anything in that first 7 days. Has happened, but it's super rare. It's really about you getting an understanding of how the campaign works, seeing the leads actually come into your dashboard, and really finding an area that works. So often in that 7 days, we're actually going to make some modifications. We might even move you around a little bit if it's not working. And the reason being is that if we can get pretty good results of the 7 days, we can typically keep those ongoing. And so how it works basically is it's a $99 fee, which includes $9 a day of your Facebook budget. So you don't pay anything outside of the $99. we actually include the Facebook budget right in there. So 63 of it basically goes directly to Facebook for those 7 days. And then 36 of it, which is marginal, is just basically, we look at it as a commitment just to do some of the work when we set up the ads for you and have some of these calls with you. So, over those 7 days, you're going to receive 3 different one-on-one calls too. You're going to learn how your ad is performing in Facebook. We're going to cover the best conversion strategies to really help you get the results that you're looking for. And then also really important is to integrate StreetText with your current systems. If you're using a different CRM, or depending on what you have, or maybe even just identifying your lack of systems, and then helping you identify where you need to start building out your systems and where you need to begin. So if you're interested in doing that, you should be able to see that button on the right-hand side where it says Start Your 7-Day Test. You click on that, you'll be taken to a page where you can basically go through. You're going to pick your postal codes or zip codes that you want to target. You're going to think about your area, and you're going to put in your Facebook business page, and you're going to put in, and then you're going to put in your credit card information and get started. Don't panic so much about the area, because what you can actually do is we can actually get on the phone with you and help you through that. So we use some really cool tools to really analyze the areas as well. So if you have a pretty good idea of where you want to be, but you're not exactly sure maybe which area you want to be on, you can still get started. The 7 days actually only begins when your ad goes live. So even if it takes a couple days to get that sorted out and figure it out, you'll actually only start the 7-day process once that ad goes live and you've got the areas that you're looking for. So if you are interested in that, I encourage you to take advantage of that. I'm just going to remove this offer for now. If you want it again, you just quickly click on it. I'm going to pull it away right now, and I can always bring it back again later. So back to your questions. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me anything. If you guys are interested also, I can talk a little bit about Donna's course and explain how that works. Yeah, let me know. Let me know if you guys have any questions. So let's cruise through here. Hopefully you guys took that all in. I knew I moved very, very quick through it. So just to highlight again, a quick recap. I'll just jump up to our top slide here. We actually have a new webinar series that's going to be announced on April 18th. That's going to be our summer schedule for our webinars, so please tune in for that. I think, we're actually going to be covering some pretty exciting stuff, specifically around some of our new ads that we're bringing out. So you don't want to miss that. You want to be involved in that. But this is the time. I mean, right now with where the market's at, Jonathan was actually just sharing with me how important it is to really break up your year in quarters. If you think about it, like we're done the first quarter, the year in the 4 parts. So you're into that second quarter now. You're well into your spring market already. And as you approach the end of the year, are you on track for hitting your goals? And if not, what's going to have to change? What are the small things that are going to have to change to help you hit those goals? Okay, Marzina, I will jump into the course here for you. Break that up a little bit more. Second. Okay, so Donna Swansea does roughly about 44 listings. I think she did 45 the year before, every year on Facebook and StreetText. And she went from a pretty new agent to the top producer in her office. And I'm not even sure exactly how far that reaches, but she was just featured as in our insider group for that award as well. So she has had tremendous results and success. And of course, with everybody coming in, they were asking Donna, hey, Donna, can you share with me your BombBomb video? Donna, do you use Messenger? What do you say? Hey, Donna, what do you do with a Just Curious lead? What exactly do you do, Donna? And she was being fully bombarded. And so we basically sat down with her and we said, hey, Donna, what if we build a course? We put a course together, really outline your strategy, make it something that makes sense for you so that you can keep updating it with your process. You can keep making the changes on it, but at the same time, it can provide enormous value to the agent. So this is a paid course, but there's actually a special offer for you guys today, so I'll let you know. And think about it this way. I mean, Donna, she is laying it out there. She's not holding anything back. I mean, she's going to go through how to handle address-only submissions, how to run a contest, managing your schedule, why she doesn't call or text people. There's some bonus modules in there too on really helping you find the right area, thinking about your next farm area. So it really is a fantastic course. And if you're looking at, especially as you approach the end of the year and you want to make a big impact on your year going forward, especially if you're going to take a program like something like ours, if you can get a clear step-by-step follow-up strategies, especially for all types of leads, including the scripts, the templates, the schedules, everything that Donna does, it makes a huge impact. I mean, you don't have to figure that out. Think about what the learning curve is. I would say for most of our agents, the learning curve is the first 3 months, probably for sure. And if you can fast track that, it's tremendously valuable to you. So it's really for agents that are looking to maximize their return on investment, work every opportunity, or agents that are looking to, just really adopt and set up some systems in their business, or newer agents. Or agents that are maybe in a very strong market and you're looking to differentiate yourself and just stand out. So the course costs $150. We do have a special offer for you, but just think about this for a second. $150 to fast track, get all of Donna's best principles, strategies, scripts, everything. Do you think using all of that, is Donna doing 44, 45 roughly a year on average? Do you think that can help you get even one more deal out of the system per year? Absolutely. It is such a no-brainer even at this price. But if you actually start a trial today, and I'll run that trial link again for you. If you actually want to run that trial, we have a promo where you can save 15% on this course today. So we'll actually send you the promo so you can get started and you can get that set up. So if you're looking for that, it will make a huge difference to your business. So then we got a couple questions here. Al, is it possible to start next week as I'm away for 3 days starting Friday? Absolutely. In fact, Al, I would highly recommend that you start the trial today because at least you have the option to take advantage of this discount on Donna's course, and you won't start until next week. That's not a problem at all. So again, you pay the $99 up front for the 7-day test, but it only starts when the ad goes live and you start. So not a problem there. We can bump that for you. Yes, Marcus, we will most certainly have a recording on this webinar. And I realize I speak very, very quickly, but I have so much to cover. There's only so much time, and I know that your time is valuable. So yeah, you can watch that recording. Al, I'm not super web savvy, so can I get assistance with the ad? Absolutely. Al, this is the cool part. Just so you know, we set up everything for you. So we actually create all the ads. I mean, literally all that you have to do is know where you want to target, and you need to have a Facebook business page in place. And if you don't, we can send you the things to help you set that up. And as long as you have those two things set up, like you know where you want to be, and you watch a webinar like this, so you really think about your clients, we can take care of the rest for you. Stephanie, can we get a discount on Donna's course if we are already a StreetText client? Question mark. Well, you'll have to message Elise on that, and maybe she will be so kind, and she can make that happen. I'm not sure. I'll have to check with Elise. She works really closely with Donna on that. So Stephanie will see what we can do for you. But I do recommend it, even if we couldn't get a discount, hopefully we can, but even if we couldn't, for that $150, it is just such a no-brainer to obviously get everything from Donna exactly what she's doing. So we're almost, I guess we're about 45 minutes in, so I want to respect your time. This is what I shoot for these webinars, or even faster if possible. So once again, thank you everyone for being here. If you have additional questions, let me know. I know I covered a lot. That's why we'll have that recording. And again, this really is part of that 3-part series. So if you want to dive into more depth into part 1 and part 2, check out our YouTube channel. I'm actually going to put that offer up again here, just so that if you do want to start that trial, you can do that by clicking this link here. So here's that link to start your 7-day test. And yeah, check us out on YouTube. Watch those other 2 webinars. Elise will happily answer any questions. So she would have been emailing you just for getting this webinar ready to go. And otherwise, have a great rest of your week. Take advantage of the spring market. And we'll see you on the next event. I'll see if I got any other questions. Nope, I think we're good. Okay, great. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for being here. And until next time.